If you've ever found yourself constantly chasing someone, whether it's in a romantic relationship or any personal connection, you may have noticed something. It often leads to being taken for granted. But what if I told you that stepping back, letting go, and giving space could be the exact strategy you need to strengthen that bond? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a concept that has the power to completely change the way you approach relationships. The power of silence, absence, and creating space. This isn't about playing games, it's about reclaiming your personal power. And in today's video, we're going to explore what they truly feel when you stop chasing them. We'll see how Stoic principles of emotional control and detachment come into play, and why sometimes distance can be more powerful than constant pursuit. Let's start with the first important idea. Silence and absence can be powerful tools in a relationship. When you remove yourself from the equation, whether it's through emotional or physical distance, you give the other person time to think. Think about how they've been treating you, how much they truly value you, and most importantly, what life feels like without you constantly being there. Humans are wired to respond to absence. When something or someone is always present, it's easy to take it for granted. But once it's gone, that's when its true value becomes clear. The second idea builds on this. Constantly chasing someone may lead to being taken for granted. Now, this is where a lot of people, especially men, make a big mistake in relationships. They believe that the more they chase, the more they pursue, the more they show they care, the better the relationship will be. But in reality, the opposite tends to happen. When you're always available, always trying to please, and constantly chasing, the person you're pursuing may start to expect it. And worse, they may stop appreciating it. When there's no space for them to reflect on how much you bring to their life, they may not even notice what they have in you. This brings us to the next point. Creating space can make the other person realize your value. When you stop chasing, you give them the gift of perspective. Without you always being present and constantly reaching out, they have to confront the empty space you've left behind. In that space, they start to feel something, your absence. And with absence comes reflection. They begin to miss the little things you did, the energy you brought to the relationship. They start to realize how much they relied on you, emotionally or even just for the comfort of knowing you were always there. That's when your value begins to rise in their mind. But remember, this isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about reclaiming power in the most natural and authentic way. Too often, we give away our power in relationships, thinking that by overinvesting, we'll earn the other person's affection. But here's the truth. Trying too hard often has the opposite effect. What you need to do is refocus on yourself, your own emotional well-being, your own growth, your own value. When you stop trying to control the relationship through effort and instead control yourself, you regain your power. The power of being whole, confident, and detached from needing constant validation. Now, this next point is key. Giving the other person the opportunity to miss you can strengthen the relationship. Think about it. If you're always there, they'll never get the chance to miss you. Space creates longing. It creates mystery. It sparks curiosity. When you step back, you allow the other person to reflect on what life is like without you. And guess what? If they care about you, if they're truly invested in you, they will start to miss you. It's a natural response. People value what they miss. And when they start feeling that emptiness, they may be drawn back to you in a much stronger way than before. Here's something most people don't realize. Letting go of a relationship is a sign of strength and self-worth. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about yourself to not be dependent on someone else's actions for your happiness. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on the person, but rather giving up on the idea that you need to control the relationship. It's about understanding that your worth isn't tied to how hard you try to make things work, but in how you carry yourself, even when things aren't working. The beauty of this strategy is that when you stop chasing, the power dynamic shifts. You may have noticed that when one person in a relationship pulls back, the other often steps forward. This shift in dynamic creates a balance. When you stop constantly trying to win someone over, they start realizing what they might lose. And that's when they begin to see you differently. It's not about manipulation, it's about resetting the balance in the relationship. They begin to value you more because they recognize that you're not dependent on them for your happiness. That in itself is extremely attractive. So what do they feel when you stop chasing them? They start to miss you. Absence creates a void, and in that void, emotions grow. Curiosity grows. They begin to reflect on how much you brought into their life. And if they care, that absence will pull them back towards you. But again, this only works if you're truly focused on yourself in the process. You can't just be waiting for them to miss you. You have to be growing, evolving, and becoming the best version of yourself in the meantime. Let's tie this all together. Stepping back and creating space can potentially change relationships. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about valuing yourself enough to not chase. It's about trusting that if the connection is real, your absence will be felt. And if it's not felt, if they don't come back, then that's a sign that you're better off without them. Relationship. In the end, remember this. Relationships should be built on mutual respect, attraction, and value. By stopping the chase, by giving space, you give the other person the chance to realize your worth on their own. And that, my friends, is the most powerful way to be in control of your own happiness and future. So, if you're ready to stop chasing, to reclaim your power, and to see what happens when you create space, give this strategy a treat any daily statement, but be to pray. It's a method grounded in Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us to control ourselves, not others. And when you master that, everything else begins to fall into place. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below sharing your experiences. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and keep evolving.